Money Global TV. My name is Wana Philip Ubut. Today with me is a doctor, a brain box, master of all, don't be jealous, the person of Dr. Ukoimah from the Department of Accounting Education, University of U. You're welcome, doctor.
Thank you.
Doctor, you look good.
Yeah. We've always been looking good because of our discipline.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, doctor, why did you choose to study accounting education?
It's basically because of our interest. We advise parents that anytime your child intends to go into area of specialization, interest should take preeminence. And so it is as a result of the strong passion and drive I have for teaching that makes me to narrow down to accounting education.
Oh, thank you, doctor.
Yeah.
Doctor, I know you have a lot to contribute to the educational sector. Please, doctor, what are those things to do to improve the educational system in Nigeria?
Yeah, thank you. It's simply to diagnose the problem. The doctors diagnose the sicknesses of the individual, but we, the teachers, we diagnose the problem of the society by researching and researching to know the problem of the society. And if you look at a case study of Ukoimah State, you can see that the public secondary school, if you go there, you see recruitment of teachers is being done, not considering the area of specialization, even whether the people that are brought into the classroom have actually the toolkit to handle the students under their care. And you can equally look at the facility. Simply because we've not been able to hire the right people to man that industry. That is why you see the turnout not being competitive enough. For instance, the UTME, it is an exam that takes into consideration candidates across the country. But we've not been able, for once, to produce one candidate who has stand out to be the overall best, simply because we've not been able to do the right thing.
Doctor, like what kind of writing that should be?
For instance, the recruitment. And if you look at the facility there, the facility is already moribund, where students they don't have seats, they don't have the teaching aids, they don't have the facility, and the recruitment itself is skewed, taking people who don't have the pedagogical skill, who are supposed to know the right mind, the emotions, because teaching is not something that simply because you have the knowledge of the content of the subject that you can sit down in the class or man the class to start to teach. You must have what it takes in terms of emotions, in terms of psychology of the child, in terms of sociology of education, so that you can be able to take all of these things into consideration before going into the class. So if you look at what the recruitment process done by our immediate past governor, you can see that a consideration was not given to those who actually specializes in education. So we are simply like saying, okay, Wana is in education, is a graduate. Why not simply ask that he should go into the theater and then start to prep people? That is what we've done by asking anybody who is a graduate of the university to go into the classroom and start to teach. So we are simply handing over our generation into those who are not qualified to handle the next generation of our State.
Doctor, please, I want you to add more to the strategy to improve the education system.
Number one is to recruit the right people and then do a total reform of the system. For instance, Ukoimah State has always continued to recruit one teacher per class. The strategy is simply for us to take into consideration that we have the science-based and arts. Some of these teachers, when you ask, if you can just take, for example, some of the simple arithmetics, some of the teachers will not be able to solve simply because maybe they have inclination for arts. And so to be able to nip that problem on the board is for us to make sure in each of the class we recruit science-based and art-based, so that the specialty from these two angles will be able to give the best to the children that we entrust into the hands of these teachers. And the state-of-the-art facility must be made available.
Okay, doctor. Thank you, doctor. Doctor, now, if all those things you mentioned so far is not being put in place, what will be the consequences that the society will face?
Of course, the consequences is enormous. Where the have-not we will have a drift from the have-not, not just the have-not, that will now become a societal problem. Those that will not be able to compete with other part of the globe. For instance, UTME, that is generally an exam for the entire country, will not be able to have a good fare of the candidates who will be able to perform very well, and then push our children to have good quota out of the general quota that will be given to Nigeria.
Okay, so now what is the benefit that the individual and the society will get if all these things are being put to place?
Of course, for us to be able to have the society progressing from one point to another, we must have good stock of human capital. And for us to be able to have good stock of human capital, it is through having good educational system. So in all of this is that when we have good human capital, it will cut across all sectors of the economy. If you want to go to health sector now, maybe teaching hospital, you have a good doctor that will attend to you. If you have a case in court, you have a good lawyer that will take up your case. So all of this, the life of the society is in the hands of the teachers, and that is the benefit that will benefit from it.
Okay, doctor. Now, doctor, I want you to advise the people that are watching us, the parents, the students, the government, on this educational issue.
The advice is simple. We should not allow politics to encroach into education. If there is anything we can be that we should take dear to our heart is education, because every other sector revolves around education, and education serves as a substructure to everything that happens in our society.